When you think about maintenance provided villas in Kansas City, you might be picturing something like this, or this, but there's a whole new type of villa hitting our market, especially here in Johnson County. Sometimes they're called twin villas, paired villas, or luxury duplexes. And in this video, we're gonna show you three of them. We're gonna show you one priced at $450,000, one priced at $615,000, and then finally one that's just over $1.1 million. We're also going to break down what you can expect at those different price ranges, the locations you can find them in, and what you get when you buy a twin villa in Kansas City. Now, if we haven't met yet, my name's Nick.
And I'm Jordan. We help people buy and build homes all across Kansas City. If you have any interest in buying or building a home in Kansas City, please feel free to reach out, give us a call, text, or email. Our information will be on the screen and then the description below. This is the Clover by Rozier Homes. It's a reverse 1.5 story twin villa featuring 3 beds, 3 full baths, 2,293 square feet, priced at $450,000.
Now, this one is located in Falcon Lakes, located in Basehor, Kansas, minutes away from the Legends golf course community that is beautiful. It's absolutely scenic. And one thing about this community is that it's not just soft maintenance like lawns, snow removal, but it's also partially hard maintenance as well.
That's right, Nick. And at $280 a month, you really can't beat it when including that building maintenance. And so paint, roof, and gutter repairs as needed.
All right, Jordan, come on in.
All right, twin villa number 1 of the day. We'll get a little sneak peek of this main floor, and then we're going to throw that floor plan on the screen for you.
Now, we've toured quite a few of Rozier's single family homes. This is the first villa that we've seen, and for $450, golf course community, Falcon Lakes, and the level of finishes, it's really hard to beat this value. But one thing I want to point out about some twin villas you might see at this price point or with similar square footage is sometimes when you walk in the front door, feels like you're walking into the family room or into the middle of the dining room. What they did really well about this plan are 2 things. One is they did this arch, which we've seen Rozier do a couple times, and we walked through before we started filming, and Jordan, you pointed out, it's quite a bit wider than a normal cased opening.
Yeah, that cased opening, much wider than a regular door frame, and it's taller too. So sometimes an arch can give you a little smaller feel, but not this one. You got plenty of room.
And you'll see plenty more as we go throughout the house. But the second thing is, again, you're not stepping right into the middle of the floor plan. You got this formal entry, and then the staircase tucked to the side makes the front part of the house a lot more private. And the reason that matters is because we've got our first secondary bedroom / office right at the front of the house.
Yep, and you've got 2 huge single hung windows with the mutton bars, tall vaulted ceiling with an upgraded fan. There is a closet around the corner. And then you step into bathroom number 1. You've got the updated quartz countertop on the vanity. You do have a shower surround here. And I know that we like to see tile in there. This is kind of typical at that price point. And if you built a home, you could do the tile.
Yes, it is possible to build your own twin villa. We'll go more into detail on that here later on in the video, but we've got a nice surprise for you. We turned on the fireplace. It's a little cold outside, but Jordan, I love what they did. You've got the built-ins, floating shelves, really nice look at the price.
Yep, I love the stain on that floating shelves. It really gives it a good look. It matches the handrail on the stairs, goes well with the floors.
Now, the other thing to point out is, Jordan, if you show the ceiling here, you get these vaulted ceilings wall to wall in the great room, which sometimes you're only getting that above the family room, but this is carried all the way over to the kitchen. And if you swing around this way, Jordan, what I love is they took the cabinets all the way to the ceiling. So you get these huge, like we've seen cabinets that are almost this tall, but these are huge for just a single door.
I think that's at least 9 or 10 foot tall right there. So it's a really good look. I like this brick laid tile backsplash. It's got the glazed look to it. And Nick, 5-burner gas stovetop.
I love to see it. And then what you also have is quite a bit of space between the island and the perimeter. So let's say the dishwasher is down, you've still got a nice walkway there. And Jordan, if you swing this way a little bit, I want to show the stacked microwave and oven. Love to see that. And then you also have these extra shelves on the side.
Very nice. Can never have too much storage in the kitchen.
That's right. So we've got the breakfast nook right here, picture windows that are like almost floor to ceiling. What I really like about this house for this price point, this is on a daylight lot, which means you've got a little bit more slope than you would traditionally see. And because of that, you get this deck off of the main level. And I love what they did. Composite decking, fortress rail.
And they even went with stairs on the way down to a landing pad. You don't always see that. Normally it's an extra cost with builders, but it is included. And this is a spec home. And so you don't see that very often.
That's right. So if you found this same plan, this same house built on a flat lot, you might see an even lower cost if you don't care about having a deck. But I think that adds a ton of value. And one of the last parts of the main floor before we show the master and of course the lower level, we got two things here. We do in fact have a pantry, we've got a boot bench, but the laundry room, Jordan, is huge.
Yep, huge laundry room, a ton of working space in here. You do have a shelf with a hanger, built-in cabinets with a nice countertop that they did this stain on, which I love.
And then right across the hall, we've got the pantry. They've got the shelves set up, but again, if you built it, maybe you'd want to see a prep area in there in which that could most likely be done. One other thing that we want to point out, we haven't pointed it out yet, the flooring. Most of what we see in single family homes, and for most twin villas, you'll see engineered hardwood floors. These are actually luxury vinyl plank. This stuff has been getting better and better and better over time. Very scratch proof, it's waterproof, and quite resilient. So I think that's why they put it in here, is this kind of theme of maintenance provided, not having to worry about scratches or surface marks on it. But coming around to the master suite, first thing is we've got a linen closet. Very deep. You got a ton of shelves there, Jordan.
A lot of space. You can't have too many closets. Not enough storage space in all these homes.
I know. And the master bedroom, pretty good size. They did the box vault, which is one thing that we see all the time in Rozier homes. And then single hung windows, which are a little bit taller than we normally see.
Yep, those are huge windows. Let us in all that light, which I love to have a lot of windows. Natural light coming in is very nice.
So this home is still in the finishing stages, but we did want to get it out to you just so you can see an example at this price point. You got French doors. Coming into the master bath, we got a double wide vanity. You got like 1.5 or 2 millimeter thickness on the top there. We're missing a mirror, so forgive us on that one. But around the corner, you've got a deep soaking tub that's built in, tile surround, and then you've got a transom window above. Final part of the bathroom before we get to the closet. You've got tile floor to ceiling. I like the vertical lay there. It's a little different than what we often see.
Yeah, I like seeing that in the showers, and that's a good size shower as well, Nick.
It is. If you build something like this at this price point, think about a 0 entry shower, and at the very minimum, think about a bench in the shower. I think those are two really big value adds. Water closet is off to your left. And then coming into the master closet, you've got a ton of space for hanging clothes, shoes, hats above. It almost doesn't end.
All right, we're gonna head down to the lower level. This is a reverse plan, so we have a finished rec room and another bedroom and a full bath downstairs. Starting with the stairwell, Nick, they did the high tread carpet, which is absolutely a must. It lasts longer, it feels better.
And I also like, Jordan, that you have a landing right here. So sometimes we see some instances where clients don't want a straight shot down, right? Especially if you've got younger kids, grandkids over, etc. It just makes it a little bit safer and accessible. Downstairs in the lower level, Jordan, I mean, look at all this rack space.
Really good size room here. I mean, entertainment room. You can put your sectional couch, TV on one wall, daylight basement. So we have this wall of windows, and you've got the deck out there too. So it offers a little privacy, but you're still gonna get all that daylight. And then the third bedroom, right around the corner. This is a huge room, Nick, for a lower level room.
Wow, this is really big. Now you do have kind of a partial daylight, partial egress window, surface mount dome light on the ceiling there. But because you get that true daylight, yeah, I mean, this room is very lit up.
And then behind you is the full bath.
Now, Jordan, I always love to see the linen closet in the bathroom. I know that's kind of funny to say out loud, but you can never have too many closets. We already talked about the plastic tub insert. If you build, you could probably do tile. It all depends on what you're looking for. And then, of course, we got the vanity, which in the lower level at this price point, golf course community, you've got the solid surface countertop there with, I think, like a 1.5 or 2 millimeter thickness. And then the other thing that we noticed about the house, Jordan, is there's a ton of unfinished storage.
Yeah, so normally in a reverse plan, you're gonna have about half that lower level finished. Well, here, just an absolute ton of storage space. You have all your utility equipment back here, furnace. It's got the built-in whole home humidifier, which is nice because it prevents a lot of the issues that you see with paint drying out and separating in the corners and cabinets and things like that.
And then we also get this huge area right over here, which maybe if you built, you could even finish part of this as well. And that's not the end of it. We also have another half of the unfinished storage to show you.
There's more on the other side of the stairwell. This is where you're going to find the electrical panel, 200 amp panel. There's still some spaces in here where if you wanted to add some things later on. And Nick, they've got the sump pump in the corner, which we love to see. It's almost, I mean, it's a must in a lower level finished space.
Now, before we jump over to villa number 2, which is beautiful, it has a walkout lower level.
With a sunken patio.
We love to see those. One of the biggest questions that we get about twin villas is what about the shared wall, right? What about my safety, my privacy? Am I going to hear my neighbor on the other side of the wall all day long? And the answer is no. And that's because of what we call a demising wall. Now, every builder is going to be a little bit different about how they do this, but most of these principles will apply. And we're going to show you footage on the screen. This is actually from the 3rd villa that we'll show you at the end of this video while it was being built. So Jordan, it all starts with a fire barrier in the middle of both sides of the wall, and it goes all the way up to the roof line.
That's right, Nick. And so on each side of that fire barrier, you're going to have a 2-inch air gap, which is going to stop any of that noise you hear from the other side.
And that's because sound needs vibration to travel. So that air gap, as you can see in that footage, that'll stop that in its tracks. And it's also important because, again, you've got that fire barrier in the middle. We don't want it making contact with the other studs on both sides.
And on top of the air gap, you also have insulation on each side, and then you're going to have the drywall.
So you got multiple layers and layers and layers of defense here, all to protect your privacy. And of course, you know, it depends on the villa, but sometimes we see, you know, the garage wall will be shared. Sometimes the garages are on opposite sides. It all depends. So with that said, we're gonna move on to villa number 2. This is the Monroe by Hillman Construction. It's a reverse 1.5 story. It's on a walkout, walk-up lot with a sunken patio. Comes in at 3 beds, 3 baths, 2520 square feet, and it's priced at $615,000. Now, Jordan, this one, we're in South Overland Park, Chapel Hill. It's an established community. It has twin villas, estate-sized homes, everything in between. The amenities are already up, and the HOA, it comes in at $275 a month.
$275 a month, you get access to all those amenities, plus you have lawn care, trash pickup, and snow removal.
Now, one of the main differences between villa number 1 and this one, aside from just the price, is what you get for that price difference. And Jordan, we start to see elevations that are a little bit more complex. Like this one, you've got the stone, the standing seam metal roof, some board and batten.
And then you also have a side entry garage on one side of the building. You have a front entry garage on the other, separate driveways. And what this does is it creates a little bit more privacy and it gives it more of a single family detached home appearance.
So it creates a lot more separation, but let's take a look inside.
All right, come on in here, Nick.
All right. If any of you have seen some of our recent videos, we did one in Chapel Hill a few weeks back, and we showed one of Hillman's single family homes. It was the Chesapeake Ranch Plus. Now, Jordan, this is a reverse plan, but has a lot of similarities, including the really tall ceilings.
Yep, tall ceilings, which we love to see in these reverse plans. As soon as you walk in, nice wide foyer. You do have the transom windows up top, side windows on each side of the door. And Nick, I love how they trim that out.
Yeah, they've upgraded the trim throughout the house, Jordan. And one thing I want to point out is sometimes you'll go through these homes and builders have upgraded or added an additional enamel color. So you can see kind of the lighter French gray on the trim and doors, and then the white on the base of the walls. Just really nice look. We're going to see that throughout the house. We're also going to see some patterned tile in many, many different places.
Some nice tile choices in this home. So right off the entry, you do have the mud room and laundry room, but we'll get to that in a minute once we get through the master bedroom. Starting here on the left, you do have the second bedroom on the main floor. This is a huge room. It could be used as a second guest suite or an office. One thing I like, Nick, I noticed they have these picture windows here. They're smaller, they let in all that light, but they do allow for privacy.
Yeah, and one thing, I know it's hard to see on camera, in a lot of these twin villas, we're not saying this is like a big room for a twin villa. This is big for even a single family home. I mean, this room is a really good size. And the nice thing about it is you have a pocket door around the corner that leads to the full bath that services this level of the house. So you've got the matte black shower frame. They upgraded the tile. I don't know if you can see that, the tile around the shower. And then we've also got the vanity. It's kind of a darker gray wash to the stain. And you've got upgraded light fixtures throughout the house. But we're gonna kind of keep going here. One thing we should have noted in the office is they actually carried these hardwood floors, the engineered hardwoods, into the office, which is just a great look. And Jordan, we've got this big wall of windows here.
Yeah, you step into the great room, you've got 3 single hung windows. They did the mutton bars on top. I think that's a really good look. And then you also have the transom windows up top. Now, Nick, beautiful beams. We love to see beams on the ceiling, and that light fixture, just like the one in the entry, absolutely beautiful.
It is, and this is not the only place that you're going to see the beams. You'll see them over the dining room, but we're going to save that for a bit. This fireplace, Jordan, really classy look to it.
Yep, very, very classy. So this is a tile, and it looks like brick, and they laid it like brick. Beautiful trim around, just like they did the front entry. And I like the stain on that mantle, and then you have the floating shelves on the other side.
Now, this home it is owned by Chapel Hill Villas, CH Villas, but Hillman was the general contractor there who built the home. And we could tell right away because this kitchen, I mean, we've seen them do a very similar layout. There's a lot of things that we like about it. One, Jordan, the downlighting.
Yep, so downlighting underneath the cabinets. You've got nice gold poles that match, are very similar to the other fixtures throughout the home. And then they did the two-tone. They've got the gray on the island, and then they have white on the perimeter, which I think is always a good look.
Well, to take this up one notch, I love the stained apron on the hood. It goes really well with the mantle. You'll see it throughout, you'll see that same stain color throughout the house. And then on top of that, you've got these 2 additional perimeter spaces. So one right here, you've got the under cabinet lighting, and then you've got the microwave built in, and of course the pantry as well.
Yep. Walk-in pantry. You've got automatic lighting as soon as you walk in there. Really nice feature to have.
Now they also upgraded this faucet right here. We've seen this faucet in some very, very nice homes, usually around the 7 figures. So to see this at what, $615, they've upgraded quite a bit. And then the last thing, Jordan, I want to mention before we get to the dining room is you've got this ceramic kind of pattern tile. Really cool look to it. And again, the tile choices throughout this house I thought were really cool.
Now turning to the dining room, Nick, beautiful vaulted ceilings. I love the beams. It just adds for a very classic look, and it just ties into the living room. Now, and then you have the wall of windows. They are trimmed all the way around, just like we saw on the front door, just like we saw around the fireplace. And Nick, this is a good size room.
Yes, I mean, even for a single family house, this would be a lot of space, but seeing it in a twin, this price point, South Overland Park, very impressive. The other thing is, If you can see through the windows here, you've got a ton of landscaping that was either planted by the developer or the builder. So once we're in season, quite a bit of privacy back here. We've seen, and we're about to get to the deck, but we've seen a few of the twins around here where they screened in the porch. I think that's a great idea. It could certainly be done. The nice thing about this is villa number 1 was on a daylight lot. So you had the deck there. They put deck stairs down, but you didn't have access from the lower level to the backyard. In this house, you do, because it is a walkout. So you've got the composite decking, the cedar frame there. And then the other nice thing is usually we see lap siding on all the sides except for the front of the house. And you've got the stone, which looks really good. Beautiful stone veneer with the mortar in between. And I'm gonna back up a little bit just because it's really cold. And we're gonna keep moving on here. So we've got the master suite.
We've got the master suite, and then after that, we will get down to the lower level where there's a beautiful rec room and a 3rd bedroom.
Now, Jordan, real quick, before we start with this, in villa number 1, I remember the laundry room was disconnected from the master. This plan, it is like a full circle, and we're actually gonna end up right back at the front door. And that's really what we like to see. It makes it very convenient. So that way, you know, even if you use that secondary bedroom as an office, you're not having to go all the way across the house to access laundry.
That's right. So you do have a linen closet right here, which is always nice to have. You can never have too much storage space in a home. Now this master bedroom, you've got tall ceilings with the box vault. They trimmed it out as well. And we don't always see recessed lights. Builders don't always include that, which they did here, which is a really nice added feature.
Yeah, usually it's only one fixture in the center, but on top of the recessed lights, they also upgraded this fan. You can see the gold in it. I've seen that again at some higher price point houses, but Jordan, again, we've got the kind of French gray enamel and the 2 windows here.
Yep, 2 single hung windows. You've got the mutton bars up top. Trim all the way around. It's just a common theme that we're seeing in this house.
The other thing is they upgraded, I believe, the pad. This is also a high tread carpet. And every master, in my opinion, needs an accent wall. I love the board and batten look, but we are going to swing around to the master bath.
Master bathroom. So beautiful tile floor. This is very similar to what we saw in that main bathroom. You have the separated vanities. Upgraded quartz countertop. You've got the gold pulls that we saw in the kitchen. And I like this gray enamel paint color.
Huge freestanding tub. But really what steals the show in this room is the shower. This is probably one of the best showers you could possibly find in a twin, especially at this price point. I mean, you've got the 0 entry, so you're not stubbing your toe on any threshold. You have a huge bench back there. They have the Euro door with a solid glass panel. They took the tile all the way up to the ceiling. You've got a niche built in. And Jordan, just the size of this shower is impressive.
It's a huge shower. You could put another shower head or 2 in there if you wanted to.
Now, here's really what we tend to see. Sometimes in twin villas, just because they can sometimes be a smaller footprint, is if you do have a shower this big, sometimes it means you don't get the tub. But in this one, you've got both. And of course, water closet is just around the corner. And this all connects through the master closet to the laundry room. So they did, it looks like the full dip here. We've got the kind of French gray enamel throughout. They've got the knockdown texture, tons of storage right there.
Yep, a lot of hanger space. And then this comes into the mud room / laundry room. I love the tile choice here. They went with the stain on the mud bench, shiplap. You've got all your coat hooks, a little drop station there, and then lots of cubbies for storage.
Yeah, I like the extra built-ins, and you pointed out the stain on that bench. And the reason that matters is because paint, way easier to chip on something like that. So the stain definitely gonna hold up pretty well over time. But this is kind of the 2-in-1 combo. Mud room, laundry room. I like that it's all tiled. You've got the built-in. Everything's recessed for the washer dryer. And we're gonna move on to the lower level. Now, like we mentioned, that first villa we showed you, it was on a daylight lot, which means you had the deck, you had the daylight windows above ground in the basement, but no access from the lower level to the backyard. This one has it. So these twin villas, you can build them on any type of lot, and this adds a ton of functionality. But Jordan, before we actually show the lower level, this staircase, the way it's positioned, creates a lot of volume, makes the main floor feel huge.
Yes, it does. And I love this high tread carpet here in the stairwell. I think it's got a beautiful pattern and it feels really nice. It's going to last a long time. It's an absolute must.
Now, this is not just a walkout lot. It's kind of a walkout walk up. It's kind of a hybrid. So you've got this sunken patio. We'll get to it in a second. They could have easily just done this as a daylight lot. They decided to spend the extra money, and you've got that access and additional light outside. But as you can see, huge rec room. I mean, this is really what makes reverse 1.5s exactly what they are. If you are looking for a villa, similar level of finishes, perhaps you could build one that's just a ranch if you don't need the lower level. This is just the bonus you'd be getting. And then of course you got the daylight windows down here. And because they planted that landscaping, it's nice and private.
Nick, and just to touch on these windows as well, got the trim around it. We have the 7-inch baseboards. I mean, they did a beautiful job trimming this house out.
Yeah, usually when it comes to lower level finishes, so like basement finishes, usually, you're gonna see some smaller trim, but I mean, again, trim is upgraded throughout. And then you've got this wet bar right here, which I love what they did. You got a different pattern tile here. All the cabinets, soft close drawers, doors, and then, I'm normally not a huge fan of the hardwood look on tile. I just think if you're gonna do tile, don't make it look like a warm material like wood, but I think it works with the rest of the finishes in the house, right? Matches the stain colors we saw.
Yep, it is a good color. Now, if they decided to build one of these, they could pick whatever tile they want.
That's the perks of building it's the only way to guarantee you get everything you want, but at the same time, it can cost a little bit more because of that. So we do have one additional bedroom and a full bath downstairs. They did something really cool in this room. Sometimes in secondary bedrooms in the lower level, you'll have the sump pump, you'll have an electrical panel. They hid this. So this is down just because I think they're working on it, but just mentally picture as if that's up. You would not be able to tell that the sump pump's under there. I mean, they spent the extra money. You've got these built-ins. You've got a nice place to take a seat, a little reading nook for guests. And of course, again, you get the pure daylight outside. Now, we're going to back up. We'll show the full bathroom on the main floor, or on the lower level.
So you've got tile from the tub all the way to the ceiling, upgraded plumbing fixtures, and then the poles on all the drawers matching throughout.
And then the final part of the lower level, we promised that we would show it. This being a walkout, walk-up lot, you've got the sunken patio, which I actually prefer over a traditional walkout at this point.
It's a super nice added feature to a home.
And the reason it's so nice, one, you've got a drain in the floor. So even though we're below grade right now, you don't have to worry about scooping water out of here. You've got the foundation style walls, which give you another element of privacy. We're right under the covered deck, which was upstairs. So you've got that shade element. And then I like that they even did the composite deck material on the stairs all the way up. Now, before we head over and take a look at villa number 3, which is stunning. It has a beautiful elevation, very impressive finishes inside the main level, the lower level. We have to break down the price ranges and where you can find twin villas in Kansas City. And Jordan, most of them are concentrated in one area specifically, Johnson County.
Johnson County. If you're looking for a maintenance provided twin villa, it's going to be Johnson County, Kansas, or Falcon Lakes in Basehor.
Now, the important distinction there, we've shown, and we've done other videos on detached villas that are maintenance provided, where you can find a 3-car garage, you could find a 2-car garage, and everything in between. This just applies to attached twin villas. Most of those are going to be in Johnson County. But the main difference between those different types of villas, Jordan, this doesn't apply to all of them, but many of them, depending on the community, might include hard maintenance as well as soft maintenance.
So at minimum, they're all going to provide at least lawn care maintenance and snow removal. And many of them will provide building maintenance such as roof repairs, paint and gutters and things like that.
And that's really what a lot of people are looking for in a twin villa, but it always depends on the community. That would be a good reason to reach out. So any questions buying, building a twin villa in Kansas City, that's something important to you. We'd love to screen ahead of time. So we absolutely don't want to set the wrong expectation with those. Now, final part on the pricing section of the video, Jordan, before we walked through twin villas, before I had toured some of them, I thought, oh, these are just duplexes with a higher price tag, and just like this very limiting belief about them. And then we walk through them, it doesn't feel like they're attached at all. And that's not us just being real estate agents and saying that for the sake of saying it. If you haven't toured one of them, I mean, it feels like a single family home.
It feels like a detached home. I mean, this floor plan, like we said, you've got a huge front bedroom, the master's really good size. It's very similar to that Chesapeake ranch that Hillman built.
And a large reason why that's the case is because the builders nowadays, Jordan, are building them with the intention of making sure they don't feel like some of the lower rent duplexes that you might see around other parts of Kansas City. And of course, the big difference between most of those duplexes and something like this, the twin villa, is the maintenance provided aspect, right? Obviously, the main advantage to a twin villa over a single family detached villa would be less hassle when it comes to maintenance, especially with the exterior of the house.
Twin villa number 3 today. This is the Belmont by Lambie Homes. It's a reverse 1.5 story that features 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, $3,703 for the square footage, priced at just over $1.13 million.
Now, this one is located in Regents Park, newer community in Leawood, Kansas. It's right off of 135th Street. But you're tucked behind the street, so traffic is not a concern, but you do have very close proximity to all the best shops, restaurants, and entertainment spots in Overland Park. Now, this community is closer knit. It's a smaller number of homes, but they still have amenities available. And Jordan, the HOA.
Yeah, the HOA, $350 a month, and those amenities, you're gonna have a swimming pool, pickleball court, and then for the maintenance that's provided, it's gonna be lawn care, snow removal, and winterization and de-winterization of the sprinkler system.
And on top of all of that, the elevation is beautiful. Jordan, this is pretty classic of what we see in Leawood, Kansas.
Yeah, you've got the concrete tile roof, we've got acrylic stucco on all 4 sides.
And that's a step beyond the traditional stucco we're used to seeing around Kansas City. A few months back, we did a video on the other side of this twin villa, which is beautiful. It's got a 3-car garage, 4,000 square feet instead of the 3,700 we're at here, trim applied garage doors, and then you've got this very long entry into the front of the home. Jordan, come on in.
All right, Nick, this home is stunning. We're gonna give you guys a sneak peek of this main floor, and then we're gonna swing back over to Nick in the entry.
So we've got to start with the elephant in the room, which is the price almost doubled between Villa 2 and Villa number 3. And a big reason for that, I think there are 3 of them. And we already kind of touched on 2. One, Leawood, Kansas. We're in a really good location right off 135th Street. 2, all the exterior features, the concrete tile roof, the whole engineering of the roof line has to be done a whole lot differently. It's more expensive, the 4-set acrylic stucco, but the third big one, we'll point it out throughout the video, the level of finishes. So I love the entry here. You've got this formal space, and then there's a landing in the stairs right down below, which means you get this nice little carve out in the stair rail for like a console table, anything that you could want to put here. But Jordan, the nice thing, not all builders do it. You got floor outlets right there.
Yep, floor outlets. So if you do put a table there, you can put your light, or it just makes it very convenient. Most builders don't add things like that. It just costs more money.
And something else that falls in that category would be the accent wall. I mean, I thought that was really cool. You'll see it in the master bedroom.
Yeah, very good look. I mean, 3 layers of trim there.
And you've got the modern crown molding around and pretty much throughout the house. They've upgraded the trim package everywhere. But we mentioned this is a 4-bed house, 3 bathrooms. 2 of those are on the main level, 2 are down below. This is the first, and this is a huge room. I know it sounds like we're saying all the rooms are huge, but this is like actually really big. It might be bigger than the Hillman we just showed.
Yeah, really good sized room. You've got the modern crown molding up above. And Nick, if you look at this little recessed portion here in the corner, you've got that built in. And I love the stain, how it matches the kitchen. Very good look.
Yes, and if you turn this way a little bit, this could be a formal office. So it doesn't have to be a guest suite. And the reason why is because you've got this separated closet setup. So there's our first one, our second one, there's tons of space. And then, Jordan, if you swing this way, there's a pocket door from the bedroom slash office into the bathroom. And I think that's a similar tile to villa number 2.
Yeah, I think so too. So we saw this tile at the Hillman home, I believe on the floor in those restrooms. And so you've got tile floor to ceiling. You have a built-in niche there, upgraded vanity with a quartz countertop.
Now, that was just like the entry of the home and bedroom number. I'm almost bumping my head on the light fixture, but this is a formal dining space. So this one's not staged. I know that none of these villas were, but this would be the formal dining space. We talked about the price, the difference there. These windows are casement windows, so they crank open. There's a weather seal all around, and they're wooden, so they're not vinyl like we typically see when we do see casement windows. So it's just a whole new level. And then they did this barrel vaulted ceiling. Look at that trim, Jordan.
Yep, that is a very, very good look. You've got the recessed lights, the modern trim, crown molding all the way around. I love it.
Now turning towards the kitchen, Jordan, I love the kind of reddish stain color here. You've got the legs on the island. They're not closed off.
I love the stain. That's very, very similar to what we saw next door when we did that home tour.
We'll link that one down below if you want to check it out. It's a very impressive. That one's staged, so you can get a little bit better of an idea of how this would lay out. Second thing in the kitchen is you've got this leathered kind of quartz top. I think it's quartz at this point. Sometimes you never know, but there will be some exotic countertops as we go throughout the house. It's similar to villa number 2. You've got the stained apron here. I think it adds a really classy look. Kitchen cabinets to the ceiling. The uppers are glass panels. Of course, you've got the underlighting, the zebra backsplash. You're not seeing any outlets because they're tucked under the cabinets. And then you've got this huge slide-in range with 6 burners on the top. 2 more things, and we're gonna keep going. There are actually 3 more things. You've got this huge kind of pantry-style cabinet right here. One of the things when we're going through older homes is typically like this is the pantry. But of course, in new construction, you've got a whole separate pantry. There's a prep area in there. You've got hooks on the top. And in addition to that, Lambie has some really interesting doors. And you'll see some more as we go throughout the house. But look at that decorative glass panel there. Isn't that cool?
That's very cool. It's a good look for a pantry door.
It is. So, Jordan, I'm going to have you swing around this way real quick for us because there are 2 more parts of this kitchen. The first one is you've got this. This is not the only kind of buffet style cabinetry that you'll see on the main level, but I love the wood stain detail behind. I think that's a really cool look. And then we're going to save this. We're not going to go back here just yet, but this all wraps around from the master through the laundry room, eventually to the garage entry. So we're going to come back to this here in a second. We're going to start with the family room here. I love the wood cased opening. Really good look.
Yeah, the wood cased opening is very nice. It's very classic. You just don't see that in very many new homes.
You know who does it quite a bit is Willis. I see it in all of the Clydesdales, but I love the look of that stain.
And Willis is building here as well.
That's right. He is one of the twin villa builders. So we'll leave the community website link down below. The fireplace, really classy, upgraded trim work below and above. You've got the beams up top. They're very subtle, but I think they go really well with all the other stains. They put floor outlets right here. Again, this is our second set of floor outlets. Not all the builders do it. And then you've got this traditional kind of breakfast buffet bar area with the glass shelves. I love the backsplash there.
Yeah, that's a very neat look. I just love that stain.
Yes, we just don't see it anymore. It's usually like a gray wash or a white oak. But we mentioned that Lambie's doors are on a whole new level. I mean, these are so cool.
You've got 8-foot double sliding doors. They have the mutton bars across. Very nice.
Kind of in line with the windows like we talked about, but huge concrete patio. It's all covered. You've got the 4-side stucco, which is why you're seeing stucco right here. You got the fan up top. And then Jordan, if you swing this way a little bit, they even went ahead, probably put blocking in right here for the TV. You got the outlets and the Ethernet cable. So come down here and you've got like a grill deck slash patio setup, water spigot, French drain, they're buried. And then the developer or the builder, one of them did a bunch of extra landscaping here, which gives you a ton of privacy.
Yep, extra big green emerald, arborvitaes.
You've got some right there too.
Yep, did them right here on the side of the porch. And the amenities will actually be on the other side of those trees. It looks like they're working on them now.
Now coming back inside, we've got the master on this side of the main floor. Recessed art niche right here, Jordan.
Yep, built-in luxury home. I mean, they're really thinking of everything.
So in here, we've got a traditional vault to the ceiling. You've got the beam up top. It's a lighter stain than we saw everywhere else, but I like the traditional light fixture here. And then we warned you were going to see this again. This is off the stairwell, but I think that's such a classy look.
Yeah, that's a very unique accent wall. We haven't quite seen that before. 3 layers of trim. It's very nice.
It's almost like a board and batten with extra kind of molding on top of it. And then you get these 3 windows. Again, you're overlooking that extra bumped out patio space and the landscaping out back. But we made an important distinction in villa number 2, and that was the master bathroom. It was huge. You had a huge shower, it had a bench, it was 0 entry, and you had a big floating freestanding tub. And here we've got most of that. So we've got the 0 entry shower. You've got tile all the way around. They did a quartz bench that is wrapped on both sides. Very impressive.
That's a beautiful bench. A lot of times what we see is just a top, and sometimes it's tiled.
And I love that they did this niche from wall to wall with the quartz threshold on the niche. I think that's really impressive.
Very nice.
The only thing this bathroom doesn't have that you saw in Villa 2 is the freestanding tub. And the thinking there is, I think a lot of builders are starting to see that, 60% of the time people kind of want them, maybe 40 to 50% of the time people don't care about the freestanding tub. So that's why you're not going to see it in here. But what you will see is this wall-to-wall floating vanity. You've got the downlighting, the light stain color, and then again, you've got like a leathered kind of quartz top here.
What I found kind of unique about these tops, Nick, is they have kind of a matte looking finish. They're not super shiny. I like them.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot more than like a polished top. The water closet is to your left here. And then straight back, we've got a very big closet. This is the highest number of pull down racks, valet rods that I think I've ever seen in a master closet. Well, we've got 5 on each side. That is really impressive. And then of course we warned you, final part of the main floor, we've got the laundry room. I like that you've got the top right there, floating shelf with hanging space, and then extra built-ins. And coming this way, we've got the formal kind of garage entry. So this is all recessed. You've got the boot bench, cubbies. Jordan, look at this. It's not just a stained bench. They did the stained detail behind.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love stained trim.
It's coat closet right off of the garage entry. And then we've got our garage entry right here.
Now it's time to head downstairs where we're going to find a huge rec room, 2 more bedrooms, a full bath, and a beautiful wet bar. And Nick, you had touched on it in the intro, this stairwell, you've got this L shape, you've got the engineered hardwoods on this landing, which I think is a good look. You've got the high tread carpet, which is a must to have in stairwells.
And then once we get to this lower level, you got luxury vinyl plank, waterproof, it molds to the floor, pretty common for what we see in lower levels. But Jordan, look at all this space right here.
Yeah, this room is huge. So they have it set up right now with the outlets on the wall here, built in, so you can hang your TV, set up your entertainment area here. Nick, they have this huge window well. They did the stucco on the inside. It's a very, very nice look. And then the 3 picture windows, I mean,
All for more light. They didn't have to do that. This could have just been a concrete wall. They didn't need an egress window there because this isn't a bedroom. So they spent the extra money on all of that just to get natural light down here. And the stucco on the inside looks really good. But we've got the bar.
beautiful wet bar. So a lot of times what we see is just a walk-up bar, but here we also have this island off the wall here. Tons of drawers. Now, Nick, we talked about this earlier, this countertop. This is like an owned leathered granite.
Yes, this is one of the coolest slabs that we've seen. You can see some, I think you can see some hints of purple and pink in there, but it's just a classic bar top. It's got all the texture to it. And I think we saw something very similar to this. Terrybrook Farms, Cortland Reverse, very similar top, but it's not the only kind of exotic one we'll see down here.
No, so then you have the floating shelves with the downlighting, and then the herringbone tile, and this has kind of a ceramic glaze to it. It's darker as well, which gives it a great look for the wet bar. And if you swing it around here, you have even more entertainment space. I mean, like I said, this rec room is huge. You could do another dining table, dining area, or maybe it's a pool table or a foosball table. It's just a place to hang out and have fun.
Yeah, so to have the peninsula with seating up against the wall, to have the dining space, pool table, that's a great idea for that space. And then 2 things I want to point out, Jordan, right behind you, unfinished storage. We're not going to show it today, but that's what's there. And then we do have finished under the stair storage right here.
Yep, couple shelves, just a lot
of extra space. You can't have too many closets. But like we mentioned in the intro, we've got 2 additional bedrooms, 1 full bath. And Jordan, why don't we start with the bathroom? I want to show the countertop.
Oh, all right. Nick was really impressed with his countertop. It's a extra wide vanity and marble, which we don't see very often.
So I want to start with the checkered tile. That's such a classic look. I wish we saw more of that. The SAB Barolo 2 Century Farms had a checkered tile entry, which was really impressive. But we don't see marble too often in homes anymore. I'm almost certain that's what this is. It has that nice glow to it. Just a very nice looking top. And then if we back up just a little bit, you even have it on the threshold for the shower. You've got the Euro door with a frameless glass panel. And then you also have the bench in the back. And Jordan, look at this. I didn't point this out to you. That niche, I think that's the marble as well.
Oh, wow. And it's also
the corner shelf and the threshold. Yeah. Really impressive. So I'm going to back myself out of here for a second. We've got another linen closet.
Yep, linen closet here in the closet, here in the hallway for all of your towels and things that you need for the restroom. And lower level bedroom here, Nick. This is huge. You've got casement windows, huge window well.
Did they do stone in that?
They did do a little bit of stone.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's the side of the house from up top, so they had to bring it down.
Okay, so most builders are never going to do that. They're going to cut it off at the window well. They brought the stone all the way down. That's really cool.
Yep. And then you do have walk-in closet over here. And this pad, it's got a thicker feel to it. It's nice and soft.
The carpet's more dense, a higher thread count, in other words. And then we've got one last bedroom down here.
Yeah, so bedroom number 2, kind of the same thing. You've got a huge window well there, double casement windows. They did this little recess here in the wall. It's kind of neat. Maybe
Perfect
you could
for
put
a dresser.
Put a dresser or a desk. And then the double door closet on this side.
Now, those are the 3 villas we had for you, 3 different communities, but of course there are plenty more where those came from. Let us know down in the comments that any of those communities, any of those specific villas really stand out to you. Of course, any questions buying, building a new construction home in Kansas City, whether it's a twin villa, standalone villa, or whether it's just a normal single family home, we'd love to help. A lot of nuances between many of these that can impact your bottom line. We'd love to give you some of the best floor plans, builders, communities, amenities, some of the best options on the market. So feel free to give us a phone call, text message, email, and we'd be happy to set you up for success. Before you go, 2 videos on the screen. This is the first villas video that we made. We show both a twin villa as well as a 2-car garage and 3-car garage villa. So you can click there or right here to see the video YouTube thinks you'd enjoy the most. So click either there or here, and we'll see you on the other side.